It's DEW Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, and good morning. Welcome back to It's DEW Time with Pastor Steph. Yes, welcome back, because I hope you were with me on Friday. Well, you know what my first question is. Where were you last week? Oh, my. It was popping over here. That's probably something that they don't say anymore, but that's okay, because it was popping for Pastor Steph over here starting Monday as we were shaking the Monday morning blues. Oh my goodness. What about your friends? We're talking about that woman who allowed her friend to move in with her. And the friend was vacationing all over the place, but wasn't giving her a dime. No, and said, well, are we friends? Didn't you tell me I could live? Are you mad that I can go on vacation and you can't? Oh, was there a whole lot of lip? Yes. And we cannot forget the one with the boyfriend who had been there for a whole year and had not done anything. Why? Because he said she knew he had 6 kids and 3 baby mamas. Oh my. Well, the switch tip fell right in place with those 2 scenarios. Do not be unequally yoked. Yes, now that could go far. You know, we tend to believe that it's only, like a male and female relationship. But Shantice helped us understand that it's a quite bit more than just that. Yes, anything that is separate from God, and you see that they're on their side of the fence and you on God's side of the fence, then the 2 can't walk together. No, if they don't agree, they're not going to get very far. At least that's what the word of God says. Well, let's talk about a Tuesday. Church Folk Day rolled around, and we talked about where are you in your pastor and first lady's lives? Yes, they need people too. Now you have this couple who have been going through a domestic violence and abuse situation, and unfortunately he ended up dead. What happened? Oh my gosh, what happened there? What happened when they would go to church? Nobody noticed anything. Nobody noticed that she was withdrawn or hiding, because let me tell you something. If there's some domestic violence going on, there's some bruising going on. If there's some domestic abuse going on, there's some abusing going on. Yes, pay attention to what Pastor Steph is telling you. Unfortunately, I can tell you because I know. Well, wow, Wednesday rolled around and we got to talking to our girlfriend Vivian at her Socially Conscious segment, and she brought us the South African 16-year-old young lady who is responsible because of domestic violence and abuse. She made an earring. She invented an earring that not only can detect domestic violence and abuse. It's a camera. Yeah. Well, it sends a signal to the police. Okay, girl. Go ahead, girl. Well, this is just the beginning for her, because if she's there already, then trust me when I tell you, she can go further. And from what Vivian said, she is going further. Yeah, she's stretching that thing. Well, on Friday with the guys, Freestyle Friday and we talked about the fact that there had been a man who came here from Jamaica when he was young, came legally, joined the army, and now 50 years later, they want to deport him. Should they leave him alone, or should they go ahead and deport him? Oh, my. Dilemmas. Well, I hope you had a great weekend because we are now shaking the Monday morning blues. Are you with me? I hope you are because there's no room to be bluesy when God has been blessing you. Oh, did I just say that? Okay, let's get this party started. Go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody, anybody, everybody that it's due time. But Pastor Steph is on, and whatever you do, don't go anywhere because we will be right back.
March 1939. A song hits the airwaves with a sound nobody's ever heard before. A bluesy electric guitar solo that stops people mid-step. The guitarist? A black man from St. Louis who was told by the recording engineer, "You sure you want to do this? It sounds kind of crazy." He replied, "Just follow me." Floyd Smith had just created the first electric blues guitar hit in history and changed music forever. According to historical records, Smith improvised Floyd's Guitar Blues on the spot with Andy Kirk's 12 Clouds of Joy. The engineer asked if he had something prepared. Smith said no, but told the band to follow his lead. What came next was a sound that would influence T-Bone Walker, Chuck Berry, and every blues guitarist who followed. But here's the part that gives you chills. During World War II, Sergeant Floyd Smith walked the streets of liberated Paris in 1944 looking for Django Reinhardt's house. He ran into a black war correspondent named Ollie Stewart who said, "Floyd, I'm going there now." When Django opened the door, according to Smith's own account, Django grabbed 2 guitars off the wall, handed one to Floyd, and for 3 hours, a black American soldier and a Romani jazz legend who survived the Nazi occupation jammed together in Paris. 2 men who revolutionized the guitar in different worlds, finally meeting in one. Smith died in Indianapolis in 1982 at 65. Most people have never heard his name. But every time you hear an electric blues guitar solo, that's Floyd Smith's legacy. What other pioneers have we forgotten? Share your thoughts below.
Good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph, and we are shaking the Monday morning blues. Well, if you are a Seattle Seahawks fan, congratulations to you. They took home that championship last night, and it was like, did you watch the Super Bowl? Child. What was going on last night? It was a defense-driven game. You ain't see a whole lot of offense going on. I don't know. Well, I love the Super Bowl, and man, I wanted the Patriots to win. Yeah, I always vote for East. I don't care what goes on. I don't care who's playing. I'm always voting for East. I don't live over there. But again, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks on their win. They won. I mean, the better man won. Yeah, so thumbs up to you. Well, if you're in the room, let's say good morning to one another. Now, remember, the only way I know you're in the room is if you shout out and let Pastor Steph know, so I can give you a holler. Let's say good morning to our girl, Ketty. Hey, Ketty. Good morning. Hey, Serge. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And my girl is in the room, Miss Charlene. Hey, Miss Charlene. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We got our lady Tamika hanging out in the chat room for now, but we are looking forward to talking to her in a little bit. And we have a check-in from, I'm just going to call you Fox. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I agree with you, Ketty. A great PSA. You know, it is Black History Month, but here on this Due Time with Pastor Steph, we do Black History Year, but we really gonna shout it out in the month of February. And great PSA, Shantice. We got a shout out for Miss Grace. If you're out there, we pray that you are nice and warm and prepared to go out this morning. So make sure you toasty. It is freezing outside. Oh my goodness. Well, we can't go any further without shouting out the ladies who hold us down and make sure that we are up and running each and every day and night when we're on. Let's say good morning to our girl Shantice. Hey, Shantice. Let's say good morning to our girl Anika. Hey, Anika. And we got a check-in from Zio. I'm just going to leave it right there. Hello. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Hang around. See what we're talking about. All right. Well, you know how we do every Monday morning. We get our health tip. And this morning, we're going to talk about those immune boosting foods for a stronger immune system. Yeah, we need some of that because this cold is killing us. What about that citrus fruit? All right, we're talking about getting our immune system boosted. Well, we've got our citrus fruit. Yes. We know that's a classic. Everybody knows if you want to get your vitamin C for your immune system, everybody knows they grab an orange, you grab some lemon juice in some water or your tea, and you get that you get that lemon. They're talking about stretching that use of lemon over your fish, your beans, or your salads. Okay, I guess I could get with that. Garlic, another staple. No matter what we talk about, garlic just keeps on showing up just like God. Oh my goodness. Yes, garlic is greatly used to boost your immune system. I gotta get that word out of my mouth this morning. Immune. Yes, your immune system. They call it the flavor tool. Yes, we all know. Listen, I cannot cook without garlic. I don't care what else I'm missing. If the garlic is not there, I'm just so unhappy. So for all of you who join me in the garlic use, they suggest we can add chopped garlic to olive oil and lemon for dressing. Roast garlic and spread it on bread or mix in with our vegetables. And you know what I see them do? They take the whole bowl, put it in the oven with some olive oil and let it roast for maybe about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then they just squeeze it out. It looks so delicious. Haven't tried it yet, but I'm getting there. And they say we can stir garlic into anything, our soups, beans, tomato sauce, over your meats, everything, salads, everything. I've now purchased some garlic paste and I'm really enjoying it. So come on. Katie says she loves some garlic. We do have a check-in from Miss Grace. Hey, Miss Grace. I'm so glad you're able to join us this morning. What else are we talking about? We're talking about that yogurt, that immune boosting food is yogurt, regular plain yogurt. We're not talking about that dead and stuff. Yogurt and garlic just keeps coming up, y'all. Let's see what else is on this list that keeps coming up. But one thing I love about garlic, it is like so versatile. You wouldn't even realize how versatile yogurt is. Berries and almonds for quick breakfast, they say. Lemon and herbs for a simple sauce. Yes, if you want to stretch your sauce, put a little garlic, goodness gracious, yogurt in there. But be careful because it is very dominating. Yes, if you put too much, If you now you got to kill the taste of the yogurt, but it is great for sauces. I do want to let you know that. They say make sure you add it, make your dips with garlic and cucumber, and that is a staple for me. I do make that, and it is delicious. What else do you think is on this immune busting list? Berries. We wouldn't have a list if berries was not on it. Yep. They say all of the antioxidants are important to get rid of any of those colds and kind of push stuff out your system. They're suggesting we add berries to yogurt, oats, or our cereal. Yes, make sure you put those berries in your smoothies, and they said mix it up with some nuts for a quick snack. All right, leafy greens for a stronger immune system. Those leafy greens have been showing up. Spinach, kale, arugula, and other leafy greens. They said get it in your food, put it in your eggs, put it in your salads. Yes. And mix your leafy greens, because everybody knows that salads are made with leafy greens, but mix them. Yes, mix them. They're really good. And you can actually use several leafy greens for your smoothies. Yes, and yes. What else are we talking about to help to boost that immune system? Straight food. Broccoli. Actually, broccoli is on this list. Okay, they are suggesting that we roast the broccoli with olive oil and garlic. There you go. 2 different immune busting foods put together. They say steam it with some lemon and olive oil. Oh, there you go. 2 more. Broccoli, olive oil, and lemon juice. There you go. And make sure you add them to your soups, your stir fries, and your pasta. What else are we talking about? Immune boosting foods. Sweet potatoes. Oh, yeah. Vitamin A and other nutrients in your sweet potato. Great for immune boosting. Cut them into wedges and make them into fries. You can just mix them with some herbs and olive oil. Stick them in the oven. Okay. They say that you should add them to soups or grain bowls. Or listen, just eat it plain. All you have to do is put that in the oven for about 40-50 minutes. If it's a little harder, about an hour. Split that bad boy open. Can I tell you something? I have been eating it. No butter, no honey, no nothing. Just me and the sweet potato. Yes. What else? Almonds and nuts. Another staple for any food list we ever have. Yes. We got to check in. Okay, hold on. We got to check in from before we go to, we want to always stop and say hello. Good morning. And Lou Seiko. Okay. Praise God. Good morning. And peace and blessings to you too. Yes, we need those natural remedies. Yeah, we can't keep going to the doctor, getting all the stuff that they're giving us. We got nuts we stop at. And make sure you get those almonds. Those are ones that really sit at the top of the list. It's not only almonds, but they offer the best immune system. Again, you can put them in your smoothies. You can put them in your yogurt. You can put them in your oatmeal and have a ball. Turmeric. Another thing that just keeps showing up. On our list. And we can't have a list without our turmeric. Put turmeric in everything. Oh, everything in my house is yellow. They're like, Ma, what'd you do? Turmeric? Yes. In soups, in food, in rice, quinoa, vegetables. They say you can even put turmeric in warm milk. And it could be plant-based milk. Yes, you can put. I haven't tried that one yet. But yeah, turmeric there as well. And last but definitely not least, if you have listened to any list we've ever given, beans and lentils are always on that list as well. Well, it's right here to help to boost that immune system. Lentil soup, great. They say make sure you drop that garlic in that lentil soup. Chickpea salad, I love chickpeas. Oh my goodness gracious. Chili beans, yes. So there's so many ways we can get our immune system boosted up, bolstered up. All we got to do is check out all of those things, okay? All righty, so we should be well already. Because if you have used any other list, 90% of what's on this list is on that list. So God is amazing. He gives us these items to eat, and they just are all across the board. They help us fight diabetes. They help us fight high blood pressure. They help us boost our immune system. It helps us from inflammation. Yeah, these are just repetitive things over and over again. So if you've ever taken any of these foods and made them your staples, then you should be feeling a whole lot better these days. All righty. What is the news talking about this morning? Let's see. Well, they are giving us we haven't got one of these in a while, an alert, scamming, spamming. They are talking about your mail. Be careful of your mail, because you've got some California homeowners that say that they have been robbed by the mail thieves. So here's their story. So they sent out a check to pay back. I don't know if it's on property tax. Okay, I know it was some kind of tax. So they had a property tax payment that was due. So they wrote a check out for $28,000. All right. Well, before it could get to the property tax office, someone intercepted the mail. And they somehow, because I'm still trying to figure out how this was done. It's not making a whole lot of sense to me. But what they said was they re-endorsed it. So I don't understand how, if I wrote it out to the city of California, right? You could write it out to Mary Jones. And Mary Jones deposited the check in the mail, in her bank account from the mail. And they are now going back to the check writers, homeowners are now going back to Wells Fargo because they tried to stop the check or get a refund, because they're like, that's not who we wrote the check out to, but you paid the check. And Wells Fargo is like, nah, we're not doing that. They will not do it. So what they did was they ended up getting 7 on your side involved. So 7 on your side is really hustling to find out how they can get a refund. And you know what? They're absolutely right. If I write my check out to the city of California, because I'm sure they didn't send the check blank. They didn't send a check blank. How did you let Mary Jones, John Brown, Boo Boo the Fool re-endorse this check and you pay them and not the city of California? So they need to get a refund because you're the one with the goof. I don't know. I don't understand this. Why are we arguing over this? So they have simultaneously put out this news post, as well as that alert that we haven't gotten alerts in a while, but they put out an alert that says, be careful and watch all of your bank accounts, because people, this is what they're doing now. They are now re-endorsing checks. They're going through the mail. I don't know. Listen, this is an internal thing. How would you know I wrote a check to the city of California? How are we doing this? So I write a check to the city of California. How you get to it? You literally take it. Who are you taking the mail from? See, say all these kind of questions need some answering. How all of a sudden I write a check going to 1515 Mockingbird Lane and you end up with it. You re-endorse it and you get paid. And here's why you can offer a refund, because that was your goof. Because somebody had to cross out something, rewrite it, white it out, if they're still using whiteout. I don't know what they're doing, but somehow or another, Mary Jones was paid that $28,000. So listen, pay attention to your bank account. And I'm going to tell you something. I have recurring payments. Yes. I have recurring payments, and I watch that bank account every couple of days. Yep. So if anything happens, it ain't going to be next month that I figure out that's something. $28,000. Because see, here's the problem. If they wrote it out to the city of California, but Mary Jones got to it and wrote it out to her, and Wells Fargo paid Mary Jones, they still owe the city of California $28,000. So now they're going to be out what? $52,000? 56,000. Oh no, ain't nobody got no money like that. So pay attention, because for them it was $28,000. Now I gotta be honest. If my $50 check was rerouted, that's $28,000 for Pastor Steph. So pay attention. Don't say you weren't warned. All righty. Well, the city of Detroit and their cops are at it again. Yes, they are showing up quite often, because at the end of this article, they are giving a list of incidences that the city of Detroit's police department have been involved in. Now, this morning, we're talking about the fact that they shot up a black woman in her car. So here's the story. They stop her and they ask her for her registration, insurance, and her driver's license. So she immediately and instantaneously, I guess she has the registration and her driver's license to give them immediately. But she was trying to pull up her insurance on her phone, and it was taking too long. So the cops started arguing with her. They started arguing with her, and somehow or another, he told her to get out of the car, and she wouldn't get out of the car. She drove off. Now, she asked them to call for backup, and he refused to call for backup. So she ended up driving off because she was scared. They started shooting at the car. Yes, shooting at the car. She didn't realize until later that she was actually shot. So she kept driving until she got to a police precinct, and they had put out an alert on her car. So she was being chased by multiple cars, and she just decided, I'm not stopping until I get to the police precinct. When she got when she got there, all their guns were drawn. They figured she was a threat as well, until she got out and told them that she was shot, and then they immediately began to render first aid. So the chief of police at this police department, he gets on there on the what do you call it when they're on the podium, conference, when they give the conference, and he tells them how, this, what's I want to get the proper word. Oh, it was a press conference. And he tells them how this woman has evaded police, how she pulled off and was dragging the cop, because this is the story that the cop gave, that when the reason why they were shooting at her is because she posed a threat. When she pulled off, He was holding on to the car and she was dragging him. Well, he had to go back and give a subsequent press conference because when he asked for the body cam footage, it showed something very different. It showed exactly what she said happened because they put it in jail despite the fact that she had her own story, and they said, well, the truth will come out. Well, it did. And the chief actually went back on the podium, gave another press conference, and told that this Detroit cop would be handled, and his buddy, I guess, would be handled properly. So he has been put on leave without pay until they do a further investigation. And she sold for $25 million because she has multiple gunshot wounds, some on her arm, over her body, and she was almost dead because he lied and was impatient. So listen, let's say good for you, police chief, because normally we know them to back their people up. They could be as wrong as two left shoes and they're just backing people up. All right. And Shanti says he needs to lose his job with no pension without doing investigation first. That's what I want to. Okay, so that's what I couldn't understand either. So with all that's going on in the city of Detroit, you actually did a press conference for this? Y'all got all that kind of time to do press conferences on one person? Listen, I want to know how you believe he was dragged without even seeing anything first. I'm with Shantice. What's going on with this? So this is why I'm giving him a shout out, because he's trying to keep his job. Yeah, that's why he went back up on that press conference podium. Okay. All right, what else are we talking about? Oh, we back to the crazy parents again. You've got this mama. Oh, she's standing at the bus stop with her son out in Pennsylvania. And when the bus driver pulls up, she gets on the bus and she's yelling at this 31-year-old female school bus driver. And somehow they end up with a fist fight going on. And now you have this aggravated assault, disorderly conduct, unauthorized school bus entry charge that this woman, Tanel Day, is facing. They said it took two other parents and the bus driver's child who was riding on the bus to pull this mama, off the bus driver, all because she said the bus driver was 5 minutes late. 5 minutes late, boy. Now, they do say that this was during the time when we were experiencing all of the snow. So, like, what's your problem? Everybody's a loose cannon these days. Everybody and their mama, they're a loose cannon these days. All right, so we're going to keep on with the crazy parent, since this is our relationship Monday. So you got a lunatic dad out in Kentucky who's at his son's basketball game out at Walton Verona Elementary School. I got to give you the name of the school and you'll know why. So dad is upset, gets into a fist fight with the basketball coach because his son does not have enough game time. Oh my! Some of these parents need to stay at home. They need to stay at home. We are just coming across too many stories of these parents losing it over their kids. Now, here's the thing. That wasn't the worst part of it. It wasn't the worst part of it for you to now get into a fist fight with the basketball coach, but you got ejected from the the gym, and he came back when it was all over, brandishing a gun in the parking lot, threatening to shoot people. So he ended up leaving. They ended up finding him and arrested him, and he'll probably have to spend a little jail time when he could have just been sitting in the school gym watching his son play ball. That's it. And that's what I don't understand. Y'all are getting all upset. He doesn't have enough game time. The other one, she was robbing people, end up killing a woman so her daughter could go to the cheerleading competition. Last week, we had another parent that lost it. And you won't be seeing the kids no way because you're going to jail. So what's worse? My thing is, y'all not thinking. Y'all are so not thinking about the consequences. And my thing is, what are you teaching the kids? What are you teaching the kids? That this is what we do when we don't get our way, when things don't go the way we'd like it to go, when things are not fair. I don't get it. So y'all are making a perfect example as to what to do. Oh my goodness. I got one more story, I believe, before we get our Lady Tamika on. Oh, I think I'm going. Let me see. Let me see one more. I'm going to see one thing, if I'm going to hold on to this. I think I'm going to hold on to that one just for a little bit, because that definitely falls up into our Relationship Monday. Oh, where's my girl, Lady Tamika? Where's Tamika? Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Girl. We got some crazy news going on. So, choose between the California homeowners who got ripped off for $28,000 when Mary Jones wrote the check to her and got rid of the city of California's name, or let's see. The city of Detroit cops, where the chief got up on the platform and gave a press conference that was all wrong until he saw the body cam footage of the officer. Which one you want to? We got a couple of choices here today. This is your first choice. Behind door number one is what?
I'm gonna be like the men. I'm gonna talk about them all. No, I'm just joking. No, I am going to address writing the check. I lie to you not. Even with just your everyday affairs, you have got to be ever so careful with email, sending finances, answering questions. Even something as simple as when somebody calls and says, "Is this Tamika?" I say, "Who's calling?
Yeah.
How can I assist you?" I'm not saying yes because you don't know what you're saying yes to, and then later on. So I'm like, and this is, like you're calling me. If you're calling me, you should know who you're calling. And it's got. There are all kinds of scams. I write my check to pay my bill. How is it that you can interject my check and it goes to Billy Bob, whomever? You know, I don't understand that. And as someone who owns a home, you ought to have a right. It's not like, you know, in other instances where you do something, you send something off to Pandora or you send something to Amazon or wherever, you know, they say you wrote the check. But if I wrote the check to pay a bill, how is it that some person gets my check? And that's not fair. You need to be able to find that and give that person that money back, because now I got to pay twice as much. If I paid $2,800, now I got to pay another $2,800.
Right. And that's the big question. Well, there's two questions for me. Number one, if it was written, the check was written to the city of New York and the envelope was sent to the city of New York, then how did it end up in Tamika's hands?
They must not have, you know, like our mailboxes, the blue mailboxes that you put to, you know, it's got a little slot now. You can't just open it and, you know, now you just stick it in. Maybe they have a way where you can stick your hand in and pull out stuff, and they need to fix it.
I don't know. I think it's an internal issue. Mm-hmm. I think it's post office people. Because you know good and well, like you said, we can't get to no mail here. How are they in your mail? How? Nah, that's internal. Number two, Wells Fargo, they need to cut it out and get them people back their money. That's your fault. That's your fault. Your fault. Because you get a copy of the check. Before you pay it, you get a copy of it. Mm-hmm. So that's on you. All righty. What about, we've got the mama in at the bus stop choking up the bus driver, or the father at the school, elementary school, choking up the coach. Which one we talking about? Which crazy parent we talking about today?
Both of them are unhinged, but you know, let's talk about Pop. So you done lost your mind because your child is not getting enough playtime, you know. And I get, you know, parents, I've been to these games, and these parents take these games so seriously. You know, we understand that this is a child, but you don't run the show. Let the coach do what the coach is supposed to do. You wait till after the game is over. You get a bright idea. You come in there with the gun, threatening to shoot you. Sir, what is going on with your life right now that you feel like, I mean, do you need a hug? What is going on? Like, what makes you think that this is a bright idea? You know, the game is over. You know, maybe your child is not that good. You know, okay, fine. You know, what is going on? Prayer. You know, they don't make parents the way that they used to. They are so unhinged.
No. Yeah, they're out of control. They are out of control. I don't get it. I mentioned that it was the Verona something elementary school, Tamika.
Elementary.
Oh. How are we fighting the coach because our child doesn't have enough game time? It's just an elementary school. What's going to happen when you get in high school and college? What you going to do when your child gets there? That makes no sense to me.
Right. And you unhinged. I have seen these games. I lie to you not. These parents take these games seriously, you know, and we're looking at, you know, I've been to a game. I laugh at things, you know, hey, he's going the wrong way. You know, these are they're kids, you know. Everybody should get a chance at that age, because how do you know how good you are? And you get what at elementary, you a superstar?
Right. Shantice wants to know, were there college scouts at the game? You have to ask. That's what I'm like. That's why I made sure to mention the school. Cause when I looked at, I was like, no, you can't be serious. They have him in the parking lot, brandishing this gun, threatening other people. Now here's the thing. He's not even threatening the coach. He's threatening just arbitrary people in the parking lot, other parents, other family members and friends who came out. All they came out, Tamika, was to see a little elementary school basketball game, and somebody may potentially lose their life for this. I don't, girl.
Hey, you don't threaten the coach. Make this make sense, please.
Yep. The people inside of the schoolyard. So when you're getting to that point where anybody could get it because you mad at the coach, then you are truly outside of your element of sanity. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, where's Pastor KL? Let's see what he's got to say about this stuff. Good morning. We can't hear you.
You can hear me?
Now, yes, thank you. Yes, how are you? Can't hear you again. Yeah, I was gonna say go out and come back in. And you said something earlier that made a lot of sense. Parenting ain't parenting these days. It's if we're not going off, if we're not fighting, if we're not demanding things, then we're not parenting. We're not parenting. And here's my thing, and I say this all the time. These kids have to go back to these schools, Tamika. They have to go back to the school. They are going to be embarrassed. You got the one on the school bus. Now he has to get on the school bus and face these kids when their mother just got finished attacking the bus driver. You got to go back to school when your father just got finished brandishing a gun in the schoolyard because I didn't get more playing time.
I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about the other one. Liar, liar, there's no fire. And now
yes.
And now run, daddy's got a gun. Like, what is wrong?
Oh my goodness.
What is wrong with these parents? Like, and it doesn't stop. All of my friends know, my friends' parents know, the whole entire, you are the talk of the town because your parent is losing your mind. Your mama going crazy with the bus driver. Like, what we got slogans, I don't get it, and it's all because these parents are unhinged. And we have had on this broadcast Vivian that tells you that the parents are unhinged, Brother Al telling you that the parents are unhinged. These are people that are educators that work in the field that are telling you.
Mm-hmm.
This is every day. These are people that you meet when you're walking down the street.
Every day. Oh my goodness. Pastor KL, let's see how your audio is.
Can you hear me?
Oh, much better now. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. All right. So what story do you want to comment on before we move forward to our relationship story?
Well, I don't know that I heard any of those stories, but from what I hear with the parent with the gun, I guess I at one point in my former life I was one of those parents, but I didn't have a gun. My daughter got jumped during a football game, and they called and told me she got jumped. And everybody knows I have huge dogs, so I had two 250-pound English Masters. I put them in my car, and I cleared out the football game. I cleared it out. Security didn't bother me. They had to call the police. And mind you, I had the dogs on a leash, so I didn't let them go. But when I tell you I cleared out the whole football field, I cleared it out.
Wow. And you didn't even have a gun. What was the repercussion behind that?
Nothing. They just asked me to please put please put my dogs in the car. And I was like, well, we need to figure out who jumped my daughter. And they did an investigation, and they suspended the young ladies. But I didn't have no problem with my dogs.
Oh, okay.
My dogs ain't do nothing. They were just in the atmosphere. We were just setting the atmosphere. You know how you want Jesus to come in the room?
You know
he came in the room.
I'm done. Oh my!
That's 500 pounds of dog. That's a lot of dogs. 2 of them.
Yeah. I'd be leaving too. If I didn't do anything, I'd be leaving. So I definitely get it. All right. We have our relationship story of the morning before we get to our main topic. So out in Wisconsin, they had a man that showed up to the police precinct after they found his wife dead in a motel. And this gets to be quite an interesting story. So they get a call from a motel worker, that they found the body of this young woman. And her name was, let me see. Do they even give her name? Well, the thing was, the worker, they saw on camera that she went in, her husband went in the room, but they did not come out the room. Only he came out the room. So again, this worker goes back in there and they find this dead woman. So that's when they put out an alert for this Lance guy. So Lance turns himself in, and after that he admits that he shot his wife in the head, right side of her forehead, and he fled, went to another motel, but couldn't check in because he did not have his ID. Well, no, he didn't have his ID, because his ID, birth certificate, debit card, and social security card was in the room with the dead wife. Oh, Lord. So you're not a smart criminal at all. So he says that he has a reason why he shot her in the head. And he says she told him, she asked him to please kill her because her baby's father was coming out of jail in 11 months and was going to kill the two of them. So to please shoot her in the spot where she had a tattoo on her face of the baby's father. So this is the excuse you give for why you shot your wife in the forehead on the right hand side, because that's where she had the tattoo of the ex. Now, she has this on and off again boyfriend while she's married. And he said that he knew something was wrong because he would send her money off and on. And he noticed that this Uber account that she had was quite a bit of activity that had been going on. And he had never known her to move around like that. So he said that they showed him being dropped off, somebody being dropped on and off at this motel. And he was wondering why there was so much activity back and forth to this motel, and if the last stop was at her mother's house. So they couldn't quite figure out what exactly happened, that the ride share ended up at the mother's house. But all of this contributed to them being able to nab the husband for this murder. Oh. Now the mother said that she did not like this what do you call it? This husband, because he always seemed kind of like weird. And she warned the daughter about the husband, well, when he was a boyfriend, and then when she looked up, they were married. Oh, Tamika, is this another case of we should have been seeing the signs?
Absolutely. You know, just looking at that one picture itself.
Okay.
I'm alarmed, you know, and it takes, just being honest, it takes a certain kind of person to put a tattoo on your face. You know, when you go looking for work, the first thing that people look at, and I'm sure that Pastor KL can attest because he interviews people, is your face. You know, you got this thing here, and it's not like it's a little thing, it's over. You got that much of a tattoo, you know, and there should have been signs, you know, you should have been paying attention, red flags everywhere, you know, and now you no longer have a life. And then the story that we hear, that is that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It doesn't even make sense. In anybody's mind, that doesn't make sense. He's coming out a month from now, and I'm going to tell you
No, excuse. I'm sorry. 11 months from now.
That's even worse. 11 months from now, and I'm going to tell you to shoot me now. You know, because this guy's going to come out and shoot both of us. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard in all my life. Where did they come up with these? And ooh, you super smart. You super brilliant. You're going to go to another hotel. Great idea. But got everything that is of value to you. So you could have even come up with the story that the wife was cheating, except all of your information is in that room with her.
Right.
Brilliant, I say.
Right. And the fact of the matter is, he probably found out about the boyfriend. Because remember, she had this on and on again, off again boyfriend, and he's taking all of these ride shares on the boyfriend's account, right? Because that's how the boyfriend can see, all the Ubering back and forth. That's probably what ended up happening.
Right.
Now you get into an argument, or you are cornering her, and you end up killing her. Yes, Louis, crazy. Who's that behind that name? Am I saying that? I'm just gonna say Lou. Yes, absolutely crazy. Pastor KL, should there have been some signs? Are we missing the signs?
Yes. Nothing about it. There had to be red flags. I mean, even before you got married, while you was dating, there had to be signs. Listen.
Is he talking?
People on the outside are just worried about your safety. You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Hear you now.
And now.
We can hear you now. Oh, he's having big time problems this morning with his audio. Go out and come back in, Pastor KL. Because this ain't working. Oh, we're gonna. Oh, this is not working. All right, Tamika. What we're gonna do is to move along. We got a list, and I didn't even realize. I didn't even make the connection when I found this list last night for our main topic. We have this. We have this list of what women thought were green flags when they initially got with this man. They thought it was wonderful. They thought it was cute. They thought everything was nice until something showed up and it ended up being a huge red flag. All right. You have, and I wanted to talk about this one, especially this one, because there's something to this. One woman said surprise visits, dropping in unexpectedly just to surprise me or bring me coffee all the time, multiple times a week, on top of the days we were supposed to see each other. So that was all of the beautiful green flags until she said they quickly turned into, I know you said you wanted tonight alone, had friends over, you were going out, but I came all this way to surprise you, to check in on you, and now if you don't change your plans or make me leave, you look like the bad guy. That's ever happened to you?
Oh yeah. And it's funny because, you know, during the beginning of the year, I usually clear out, you know, all old text messages, you know, because what am I holding on to them for? And I have a habit of kind of holding on to them, I don't know, for a while. And then I just happened to look through some text messages, and I had a conversation with, you know, a gentleman via text message. And he was like, I'm coming to your job. Excuse me. First of all, I didn't invite you to my job, and you know, you're just gonna show up. And he was like, well, I'm coming to your job. And I said, don't no sir, you're not gonna make a plan or schedule for me. You know, people think, oh, it's cute, he came and dropped by and gave me coffee and blah blah blah. No, that's
flowers.
That's a form of stalking. That's a form of being obsessive. You know, I want you where I want you. You know, if you're home, you know, you just gonna pop up at my house. You didn't ask, you know, that's a way of you showing your aggression. And you think it's cute. Oh, he just bought me. No, that is a form of control. And you need to, you know, you need to check that at the door. When he first starts doing that, because after a while you find yourself, you know, he just shows up at things, you know, pops up, you know, and I think that, you know, you need to pay attention. That is a clear red flag. That's not green. Oh, it's so cute. No, it's not. Because before you know it, that's going to be an issue that you're going to have to address. And don't let it be a situation where a year in, now he's at your house with his dog.
Well, listen, I got a question. Well, I know I have a statement. I got a little story to tell you, and I want you to tell me what you think. So there was a young lady, and she was dating this guy, and you know, they all off again, on again. They fighting, they arguing, they this, they that for a few years. So she got a new job, and I said to her, I said, do not tell him where you're working. Because before, you know, he used to drop her off at times, or she would drive herself there and they'd be together, and, you know, or he'd pick her up and all kinds of things. Now, I never heard him showing up unannounced, but I said, do not tell him where your new job is. And she was upset that I told her that. Was it me being crazy?
Absolutely not. You know, and I going back to my text message, I remember the progression, and everything was cute. It was real cutesy in the beginning, and it ended up, you know, me literally telling him all the way off, because you showed me in the back. Listen, pay attention. I'll say to anybody, pay attention to that first date, because 9 times out of 10. They showing you on the initial. Pay attention to even all the subsequent conversations, to the text messages, meeting him. Why does he need to know where you work anyway? Why is that crucial?
Right.
Is he paying your bill? Why is that even crucial, especially in those stages? You're just getting to know me. Why don't you just get to know me? You don't need to know where my job is. Because I've seen things go completely left, and now you don't have a job because they're trying to sabotage your job.
Right.
Your way of income, your way of life, because I'm controlling. I remember even being in a relationship with this guy, and he was like, well, I had moved in with a friend of mine. This was the first time that I had a roommate. The roommate was a male. But we slept in separate rooms. We paid bills, that type of thing, and he was like, well, you need to move out of the home that I was familiar with to move in with you for what? For you to do what? That was his way of controlling me. Pay attention.
Yep. Catch it. Lul says, no, not at all, Pastor Steph. I pay attention to all that. It took me one time to learn. Yeah. Because my thing was, all right, so now they bring in the drama to your job.
Oh my God.
If y'all are accustomed to arguing and fighting and all this kind of stuff, I don't need you showing up on not my job, my brand new job. I don't need you showing up on. Listen, keep that stuff away from. Listen, you don't need to let people know y'all ain't married. You're not married. Keep that away from your job, and the only way you can guarantee that it's not at your job is if they don't know where you work. Stop, just stop.
Now you're supposed to take a half an hour lunch. They looking for you 45 minutes. You standing there arguing with this genius, and now you don't have any bread or butter because you knew they told you, the time constraint is serious, and now they can't find it.
Absolutely. And this stuff is serious. This stuff is serious. I'll tell you something. I'll mention something when Pastor KL speaks. Pastor KL, can we hear you?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear?
All right. Good. Thank you. We were talking about women who said that initially the things that this man was doing was a green flag. It was cute. It was beautiful. Oh, how nice. Until she realized that it wasn't so nice. And one of the things that one woman brings up are those surprise visits, bringing her coffee and, showing up multiple times at the job during the week, although they already had their scheduled times, but he's being nice. Until when she voiced opposition, and now she looks like the bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, nice is not always that nice, and sometimes nice is trying to see what's going on. So you're checking the place out. You think I'm coming for one reason, but I'm checking the place out. I want to see how many guys you work with. Are you typical with just guys? Is there many females there? Again, it depends. If I'm that person who's very controlling, I'm going to make it look nice. I'm going to bring flowers. I'm going to spend the money in the beginning to see what it's all about.
And that is the furthest thing from a woman's mind. She's just smiling and she's all excited because this is what my man is doing for me. Oh, well, I want to put a word out, to caution you. When you are going through domestic issues and your spouse, I'm including the spouse, or your man is knows where your job is, you must find somebody on that job to confide in. You must. It is a must. It is a must, because God forbid something happens. They've got to be aware of it. And if they do nothing but call the cops, or it cannot be something that you're hiding and nobody knows, because it could literally cost you your life. and I had something like that happen, not personally, but I'm telling you this is because there was a woman whose husband she had an order of protection against, and we knew nothing about it. And I said to her later, when calamity happened at the job, I said, listen, if you don't do anything but tell HR, and you don't, I know you don't want your business, and this is why I told the young lady, don't give him the address to your job, because you can't control what they do. You can't, that's out of your control now. So now this is her husband, so of course he's going to know where she works. And now down the line, there were huge issues. So somebody on that job needs to know. Now I know, there's a concept of, oh, you don't want to bring your things because sometimes they fire you and blah 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 blah. Not me. I'll be honest. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I wasn't, my thing is I would protect you. Now I'm gonna put this out there, Pastor KL. If a person has been working for you for a while, and then one day they come to you and say, listen, here's what I'm going through, what would you do as the boss?
Well, first of all, I would give some counseling as the boss and as a man of God. But we also have a hotline as well that we can direct her to as well for her safety as well. But would I fire her? No, I wouldn't fire her. I've had many just customers, get irate with my employees, and I jump in quickly because you're not going to talk to my people crazy. Okay. So I'm a different kind of boss.
Okay, that's good to know. So if anybody's listening, there are people out there who do care about you, who will not. And there were people out there, I've heard, they said, well, they can't work for us anymore. And I'm like, oh my God. So not only do they have this domestic issue, now they ain't got a job. So there are some people who, don't, allow that. But then there are those who do care. So I'm glad that Pastor KO.
But I will say this, though. That from a corporate standard, they feel that I can lose more than just you.
Absolutely.
So from a corporate standard, a lot of corporations will say, no, you got to go because you bring in too much danger to innocent civilians.
That's right. So it's not that I don't understand, and I agree with you. That's why I said, I'm not mad at them, but it's we need to help first. And unfortunately, the dollar sometimes reigns more than, your humanity. And, it's a place of business. So you can kind of understand where they're coming from. But again, the life is a little more important. Miss Charlene says, you are so right, Lady Tamika. All right. Miss Charlene don't be, jumping up in this chat room. So if you got it, you are right. You must be really right, Tamika. Oh my goodness. All right. Here's another one. We got time for maybe one or two more before we move on to our next segment. One woman says, thinking it's cute that someone never gets jealous and trusts you completely. But I like the direction where this went. But later realizing it's actually total emotional detachment or zero investment in the relationship. And that's not where your first mind goes. Your first mind goes that he doesn't act jealous initially and then he's crazy later. But there's a flip side to this. So I thought that was really interesting. Tamika, what say you about that angle?
Yeah. I can do such and such. I can go, it's nice to be liberated. You're not so overwhelmed by, this male aggression. You think that that's really nice, but in actuality, he's unhinged, and you just don't realize it in the very beginning. You think it's cute. Now, it's controlling, and you start walking on eggshells because you're like, when is he going to do or say something? When is he going to be the other person. It's almost like being in a relationship with two people because you're not really sure, you know, which side of the him is going to pop out.
All right. Pastor KL, taking it from this woman's angle of thinking that it's cute that he's not jealous, but later on finding out, no, he ain't jealous because he's detached from the whole relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not only detached, but he's just in there for him. You know, there's obviously something that you have or something that you're doing that he's winning on. You know, when he constantly says, listen, you ain't going out with your girlfriends this weekend? I need you to go out with your girlfriends this weekend because I got a plan to go out with my girlfriend. You know what I mean? You know, it's almost like you know, I heard somebody say, you know, would you change your religion for me? A Muslim woman said, would you be Muslim for me? And he said, well, no, because having many wives is difficult. I'd rather be a Christian because then I can have my one wife and a girlfriend. You know what I mean? I don't need many wives. Many wives are issues. I am detached from you. You know, you cook for me, you clean for me, you give me sex when I want it. And every now and then, because you work and I don't work, I get money from you. So no, I'm not jealous. I'm happy. When you leaving? When you leaving? If I can give you 50 cents on the trip, go ahead, because now the house that I'm staying in with you, you're going to be gone for the weekend and I get to have a free hotel.
Yep. You know, all that detachment, you know, all that lack of jealousy, and it ain't always because you going to show up crazy, deranged later. It's because he hasn't invested anything anyway. He's always waiting for an out. Always waiting for you to be doing, like Pastor KL said, for you to be doing something so that he can be doing something. I like this one. This one we're gonna probably, let's see where we are. We may have time for another one. She says, treating me extremely well on birthdays and holidays and ignoring me the rest of the time. So I'm thinking, oh, he does this for my birthday and we travel on the holiday and until she realizes that all of the fluff is to cover up the time when he's not paying attention to her for the rest of the year. So she says there's 5 great days and there's 360 bad days. The fluff goes on and covers up the zero. Tamika.
And that's sad because she's excited about her birthdays or whatever that celebration is, for you to ignore her all of the other times. You know, like, how much of are you trying to get, you know, what is the purpose? It sets her off because it's like, okay, what is the purpose of doing all this fluff for my birthday if all of the rest of the year you're doing nothing? You're not investing, you're not paying attention, you're not even answering my calls, except for, you know, you do all this excitement, you know, for my birthday. What's the purpose? You know, it confuses her. And for some women, it's just that particular time. And how much time do you invest? Okay, you got 365 days till the next birthday. Do you want to invest that much time waiting for things to change? You know, is it worth that to that degree to be ignored 364 days? Or if there's a holiday in there, okay, great. So your birthday's in March and then you've got something else, some other celebration, some other holiday in there. Oh, that's great. You know, that's really, really cruel and unusual punishment for anybody.
Pastor KL. So you done made those couple days during the year so extravagant that you have not even noticed. She hasn't even noticed that you ain't paying attention to her the other part of the year. How does that get done?
Well, you know what? Listen, and you ladies might get upset, but you ladies do this because you put so much emphasis on Valentine's on Christmas. You know, I'm the type of man that with my wife, I take care of you all year round. I don't need one person to dictate that Valentine's is the day when I say I love you. So if that's the day you want to hear I love you, that's the day you're going to hear. Because, oh, I need this ring, I need this, I need all that on Valentine's. And then any other day, now you're mad because he done spent his whole life savings on Valentine's? When I could have shared it out during the year to let you know, to show you some type of trinkets that I love you all year. But no, it got to be Christmas. It got to be Valentine's. It got to be Mother's Day. You're not my mother. It got to be this. It got to be that. When you have emphasis on certain days, then the guy falls in line with those certain days, and now you're mad because the ordinary days, you don't get nothing.
Are you one of those men, Pastor KL, who say, you're not my mother, so I don't have to do anything for you on Mother's Day?
I sure do. But you know what? While I say it, I still do it. But I do say it. You ain't my mama. But I still take care of her. But I need for the record for you to know, you're not my mother.
So why?
Yeah, I'm that
guy. Why does she need to know for the record? She already knows she's not your mama. You're not. Because, again, you're not expected. Can I finish?
You asked me why. I'm gonna tell you why.
So I ain't finished yet. Just let me finish.
You ain't my mama. Stop talking to me like that.
I was waiting to see how long that would come out.
So here's what I was gonna say. She already knows that you're not her mother, that she's not your mama. But her thought is you're celebrating her because you're the mother of her children. You know what I'm saying? She's the mother of your children. So she's not, indicating that I want to be celebrated because I'm your mother. She already knows that. So why, with all of that, do you feel she needs to be told that she's not your mama? She already knows that.
Sometimes she don't act like that. Sometimes she don't. Look at you. We ain't even in a relationship and you acting like my mama. Sometimes y'all don't know that. You gotta be reminded.
Oh my goodness. Here's a good one. We got a couple of minutes. Here's a good one. Telling you can go through his phone and computer because he has nothing to hide. So I told my family this. And I told my family that, you know what, if he's that honest with me, I don't have to worry about him cheating. Only later to find out that he really was cheating. So why shouldn't you fall for the okie doke? Or why shouldn't you want to go through the phone? Or if he allows you, quote unquote, to go through the phone, why should this, remember now, this is starting off as a green flag, only to find out that he was cheating all along. Why should you even get into this? Or should it get into this, Tamika?
People in this social media and access to, you can have my phone, sure. You can have my computer. You can look through it all. Brother man got another phone.
Okay.
He gave you what he wanted you to see. He got another email address. This is the email address that's the fluff. I got access. Oh, he let me see his email. He let me see. He got multiple pages. I look at friends. When I got friends that they got 4 or 5 pages. But, you let me look at the phone. Who is it? Why did I get married? He gave her a phone, and then she's sitting there looking at him. All of a sudden, she hear ring, ring. Oh my God, you got another phone? Really? Are you really surprised? He already had a phone. He gave you access to what he wanted you to see.
Right. Oh, Pastor KL, what are we talking about here?
All right, so everybody can see me, right? So I'm on a device. I'm on a phone, right? Can you see this phone? Can you see this phone? Okay. All right. Do we understand? So what happens is two things when you're not married or committed or you're a player. When I say yes, you can go through my phone, just by me saying yes, you can go through my phone now, you don't want to go through my phone. Because he must not have something to hide. So if I say no, then you won't keep on saying yes, I want to go. So once that doesn't work and you say, well, okay, give me the phone. Okay, you can have that phone. How you doing, baby? You doing okay? You doing all right? No, I can't call you from the other phone because she on it.
Oh my goodness gracious. When I read that one right there, I'm like, not only that, but then you done went to your family and told them, oh, he's all of this and he's all of that because he let me go through his phone. He ain't got nothing to hide. Oh, Shanti says, and when they have multiple social media platforms for the same friends, you don't need to talk to the same people on 8 different platforms. Absolutely. Listen, ain't nobody. My thing is, once we have to discuss the phones, then we got a problem.
Exactly.
That's my take. Let me
say this.
You ain't my father. You're not my father. You can't be interrupting me like that. You didn't even say excuse me.
Wait, Tamika. Mama, may I?
What you got, Pastor KL?
Married for 16 years, my wife and I never went into each other's phone. I never went into her purse. She never went into my wallet. Just no need.
Yeah, that's what I say. If we even got to get to that point, then my antennas are up. I don't want to have to go through all of that. We too old. We not 20. We
too much
100. That's what I'm saying. I got to keep up with the aches and the pains. You can't be an ache and a pain. Just don't work. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. My Due Time crew, thank you so much for your contribution into today's conversation. Hopefully someone's learned something today, or whenever they hear this episode, they've learned something. Thank you so much, and we pray you have a blessed day.
The moral of the story is get 3 phones. 3.
Oh my goodness gracious. See you later. Thank you. Oh, hey Brian. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Boy, did you miss a conversation. We all know it's the top of the hour on a Monday morning. And we got the switch with Shantice. Let's say good morning to Shantice. Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Steph. It is cold today.
I see you with your hoodie on.
Yes, almost came on. All you could see was my eyes.
All right. So through the cold, what you got for us today?
Okay, today we have the switch with Shantice, where we make the switch from the streets to our godly seat, and we are up to switch tip 241, and that is learn you. Now this is really, really good for me to be discussing this morning because I just turned 40 a few months ago. And I said to God, I'm like, all right, God, I spent my 20s being reckless, learning a lot, but being reckless. 20s just indulging and drenching myself into a lot of stupid, useless habits. I got baptized at 30, and I spent my entire 30s fighting to understand what the bad habits were that I got myself all indulged in and sunk in my 20s, fighting to understand why, God, you're telling me I can't do these things anymore, because God is always thorough. He's never just going to say no. He's going to explain. Even if He doesn't explain it at that particular moment, maybe because you're not mature enough to handle the why. But he's going to explain. He's going to explain. Because he has to be a thorough God. Like, come on. That's been my entire 30s. Like, all right, why can't I do this? Okay, I understand I can't do this. And now I'm fighting to stop doing this, thinking this, saying this. I need to fight to stop certain things. I need to fight to start certain things. That's what my entire 30s was about, right? So 20s was being stupid and reckless, getting into the habits. 30s was being confused and coming into a lot of spiritual awareness and understanding I can't do this anymore. And now, God, you've blessed me to be 40 years old. Thank you, Jesus. And now I'm like, God, I refuse to be stupid any longer. I refuse. I was like, God, this is literally what I said to God. One of the things I said to God. I was like, God, I really want these to be my wonder years. I want from now until the rest of my life, which I pray is long. I pray is long. So I was like, you said, obey my parents in the Lord, and you will lengthen my years. Let me make sure I'm nice to my mom and my father, because I want to live long. Until the day you decide to close my eyes, I want to be wise. And what is wise? Wisdom is applying, knowing how to apply the knowledge and discernment that God has blessed you with. You don't know how to do that if you don't know you. Okay, so who are you? You can't tell you who you are. And one of the things that I hear a lot, and I'm hearing a lot of lately, when God entrusts me to minister to someone, serve someone through ministry, is I can't be me. That's not me. I don't like that, or I don't know if I can get into that because that's just me. And it's like, but you don't know you. How do I know you don't know you? Because life does not really start until you say yes, Lord, to his will and his way for you, and you get immersed into that water and you get baptized. That's when the new, real, glorious you begins to surface. It doesn't happen any other way. Learning about you can only be successful if you use God's word as a mirror, which is the main reason why I don't do church. I don't like church. I got all this church hurt. Let me say something real quick about church hurt, right? When you examine that church hurt people talk about, a lot of times it's self-inflicted. Even if it means you planted yourself in a church building that God did not have for you. It's just like being in a bad relationship. I can be in a relationship and I can be all innocent because he cheated on me, he lied to me, he did this to me. But when I go back to God and he says, well, that's not the man I have for you anyway. Oh, we don't like to hear that, because that means I played. That means I have to realize that I played a role. The beginning of learning about who you are, again, if you are not engaging and indulging in God's word, you're never going to learn who God is, and you're never going to learn who you are, because it's because of God that you're here. You have to realize and remember and understand that you were made in God's image. Genesis 1:26-27 in the Amplified Version reads, then God said, let us, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, make man in our image according to our likeness, not physical, but a spiritual personality and moral likeness, and let them have complete authority over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, the cattle, and over the entire earth, and over everything that creeps and crawls on the earth. So God created man in his own image, in the image and likeness of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And I had to make sure I pulled up this version because I love how it's emphasized and detailed in the let us, meaning Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and not physical, mainly in the spiritual. The core of who we are is embedded in God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Even if you call yourself a non-believer, an atheist, or I'm spiritual, go back to that switch tip where God told us about people who claim they're spiritual. Which spirits are you claiming? The core of your personality of who you are is heavy embedded in God. And here's what the enemy does. The enemy reminds us that even though we were born in the image of God, we were also shaped in iniquity, meaning shaped in his stupidity, his sins, his lies, and all of that. And he wants to try to drench you in who he is. This past Sabbath, we went over who the devil is, the father of lies, the deceiver of the world from the very beginning. He wants to convince you that that's who you are, that you're not worthy, or there's no way you can be looked at as someone who's like God, who's like Jesus. Tell them to shut up and get away from you. You are redeemed, because we all fall short to the glory of God. Remember, we are all born and shaped in iniquity, but we have all been brought back because Jesus sacrificed himself, gave up his life, and shed his blood so that that blood can be used to purchase us back from the devil. Literally, that's how it happened. It happens. John 1:12, Amplified Version reads, "But to as many as did receive and welcome him, he gave the right, the authority, the privilege to become children of God. That is, to those who believe in, adhere to, trust in, and rely on his name." So, who am I? Learning who I am. I am my decisions. Am I deciding to say yes to God and his will and his way for my life? Or am I deciding to say yes to my flesh and to the devil? Because if I say yes to me and my flesh, I'm saying yes to the devil and his plans for me. So when I'm learning who I am, my whys and my yes and no's help to shape and determine who I am. I've decided to say yes to the Lord. Even after saying yes, it's been a mighty intense road and walk. At the same time, listen, God has spared my life through all of the stupid, sick, twisted decisions I've made post-baptism, meaning after baptism, not before. After. I should have been dead after baptism, because again, when you're learning, and I done turned a whole lot of 11-day journeys into 40-year journeys. When you're learning to stop being stupid in certain ways and to allow God to broaden your mind and change your mentality, that's why Romans 12:2 is my favorite verse in the entire Bible. You learn what to say yes and no to. You learn why you need to say yes and no to. Which spirits are you saying yes and no to? Be mindful of that. Now, again, if you don't learn how to be honest with God, you will not learn how to ask God to help you grow that thick skin, because there's a lot of real questions and statements we need to be asking God and making to ourselves, which again keeps people away. And when they say this walk ain't for the weak, learning you. When you don't want to go to church, it's because you're weak, okay? Cut out all the other excuses. It's because you don't want to have to look and face yourself in the mirror that God is putting up to you through his word. Asking the real questions. Psalms 139 verses 23 through 24. And this one I'm going to read. These two I'm going to read in the Message version. "Investigate my life, O God. Find out everything about me. Cross-examine and test me. Get a clear picture of what I'm about. See for yourself whether I've done anything wrong. Then guide me on the road to eternal life." Let me tell y'all real quick. It wasn't until I made this request. I didn't use these words. I made this request. All the hell started breaking loose. I started realizing I really don't like me. The Holy Spirit just put me on 2 weeks ago. Who's never liked you? So when you see people talk about, oh yeah, I love me, hashtag love me, love myself, hashtag do this, yeah, we do a whole lot of things that look good on the surface, especially when we try to impress people. And Tamika brought up social media. Social media, if you don't have a mature mindset, a mature spiritual mindset, you get sucked up in all the, if I see another hashtag and half time the hashtag is spelled wrong, all that, it's because you don't love yourself when you don't take time to determine the different weathers from the weather and the theirs from the theirs, and you're over the age of 12, okay? Get your life. Loving and learning yourself is about a whole lot more than how other people see you. Ask God to test your heart. There's another verse that says the heart is wicked and deceitful. Who should know it? Only God knows it. So all of this, God knows my heart, and Pastor Steph loves to emphasize this verse. God knows my heart. He does. It's nasty. It's filthy. It's stupid. You can't do nothing about it. The only thing you can do is go to God humbly and hand that heart right over to him. God, help me clean this out. Tell me, God, I know. You know how many times I go to God like, God, I know you want me to do that, but my heart is like, I'm gonna need you to help me say this prayer before you need me to say that prayer. Because I can't say that prayer you need me to say if my heart ain't right. Listen, God is not intimidated by your filth. He's not, no matter how big or small. And I think that's what, you know, and I'm about to end this. I know Pastor Steph got to come with her confirmation. You know, but it's this learning you thing. I really don't. Listen, I am just now on the journey of like, yesterday, my whole attitude and mood was shot. I felt the need to just bust out and cry in tears. And every time I would go to do it, it would almost be like, why are you about to cry? Shut up. And just put your head to what you need to fix, how you need to fix it. Because the whole day was just, as much as I was trying to ignore it, it was just like, dang, I was that dumb. I really did that. I really made room for someone to do that. I really allowed that. I really told someone through my actions, through my allowance, I told someone it was okay to do this. How can I really be mad at so-and-so? Dang, I really wasted all that time. And while you should not sit in that, there is a balance between really meditating on that thing and not meditating to the point where you're just on this roller for days and hours and weeks and months and years at a time. No, you need to, soak in that real quick so you understand the severity of your stupidity and hand it to God so that he can continue to teach you. Because while I'm learning how stupid I was, I'm also learning how dope God says that I am, but I can't focus on the dopeness because I kept just indulging in the stupidity. Ask God to teach you about you, because you'll be trying to make moves in life and you realize you ain't going nowhere, and it's because you're not allowing God to get to the nitty gritty. Until you allow God to get to the nitty gritty, everything you do is going to be surface and temporary. God teaches you how to look at you and examine you through his eyes. After you ask him first, because it's self-assessment without God. You keep thinking, hashtag I love myself. Shut up, no you don't. 2 Corinthians 13 verse 5 Message version reads, test yourselves to make sure you are solid in the faith. Don't drift along taking everything for granted. Give yourselves regular checkups. You need firsthand evidence, not mere hearsay, that Jesus Christ is in you. Test it out. If you fail the test, do something about it. In the name of Jesus. He did not bless me with this breath so I can continue to be dumb, make dumb decisions, look at myself on the surface and think like, oh, okay, I'm all right. No, you're not all right. You're not okay. Examine, wait, what's this one part? You need firsthand evidence, not mere hearsay. Let God tell you. Let God tell you through people that he's put. Stop choosing the people around you, okay? Because the typical person chooses people around them that backs them up. Let somebody, let God put, because God's gonna put the people around you when you be like, you know what, but that wasn't that bad. And they sitting there staring at you like, did you just hear the story you told me? No, you are that bad, okay? And until you allow God to place those people around you, you're gonna go by mere hearsay and you're not gonna get the firsthand evidence. So make sure we're making the switch. You're making a switch from all this surface stuff and thinking you know about you to really allowing yourself. Just open yourself up to Jesus. Give him complete full access to your heart, to your mind, to your decisions, to your desires. Listen, I take everything to God. I talk to God about sex. I talk to God about my finances. I talk to God about people I feel like God, if I can get away with doing that to them, I take all that to them. I take all that to him, well, them, God and Jesus. I take all of that to them because you know what? When I take it to them, humbly and respectfully, but I just go raw and let them know how I feel, I can't tell you the way they check me and how they check me so quick. But you're never gonna know how that feels unless you do it. So let's make the switch from thinking you know you to really engaging and indulging in God's word so that he can fully teach you you. Thank you, Pastor Steph.
You're funny. Thank you, Shantice. Thank you for your contribution into today's episode. And I hope they listen to you, baby, because I can't give it up like you do. Oh, the realness and the rawness is amazing. Thank you so much. We pray you have a blessed day.
Thank you, so.
Thank you. Learn you. You know, when I looked at each of my stories today, I was like, you know what? Yeah, learn you. You know, we talked about the chief who got up on the podium and the press conference and gave this entire story about how his cop was dragged and all of this kind of stuff, only to find out when he got the footage that whole story was wrong. Well, he should have learned that he was not fair, because you don't get out on a press conference and say only half the story, or you making a whole speech based on half of the information. We talked about that before. Make sure you learn everything you need to learn before you make an assessment. Well, let's talk about this crazy and enraged dad who is upset because his son can't get time on the basketball. It ain't got nothing to do with his son. It has nothing to do with his son. He's just overreactive. He's just short-tempered. And this was another area it just got brought out in. So no more excuses. We talk about the guy who shot the wife and now he's lying. And he's, because that ain't no truth. She asked you to kill her now because her baby's father is coming out in 11 months. So please shoot her where the tattoo is in her face that represents the stop. You're a liar. Plain and simple as that. You're another one who overreacts. You're very short-tempered, because that's what it takes to just leave about that you did instead of leaving about of the hotel room. And this ain't no first time you found out that she got an off again boyfriend, and you just flipped your wig. All right, let's talk about the women who initially saw things that they thought were green flags, but then they realized that they were really red flags. There were red flags all along. But because you're so desperate to see things through the flowery eyes that you want to see them through, because you're so desperate to have somebody half the time, that all of these things you should be paying attention to, but you're not. All these things look great, but they're really not. Oh, you know, Shati said something that was key. You really don't know who you are until you allow God to expose who you are, not to other people, to you. And it's not until you start surrendering yourself to God that you are not, that you ain't gonna get what you gonna get until after you start surrendering yourself to God. I've had several people say to me, oh my gosh, every time I think I'm doing something right, I end up doing it wrong. And that's because that's the way you have always done it, the way it makes you happy to do it. You have never sought God as to how to do things. So the first inkling and impulse is to just do things the way you want to do it. And when somebody tells you that you need to change this because God is giving you instruction to change it, you tweak it. You don't change it. Whoa, pay attention. You don't change it, you tweak it. You just make that adjustment that's going to make you feel good. And now you're brushing off what the Lord has really said. See, let me help you understand something about Pastor Steph. I'm real. I'm going to tell you the way it is. I'm not mincing no words. I'm not putting no flowers on it. I'm not trying to make you feel good. You know why? Because I care as to how you live or die. See, I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm not here to give you that little tickle in your ear that you want. I cannot minister to you while I'm lying to you. I cannot minister to you and try to help to save your life if I don't tell you what's going on with you. Yeah, you. That's why last week and the week before, I challenged you to take everything you do and put it up against the word of God. Now, That's for both. That's for if you're a believer, because I always say at the end of each show, I always say, strengthen that relationship with the Lord, because it is not just good enough to say yes to God and coast. No, it takes work. You're going to have to pick up that Bible every day and challenge yourself. And here's what I have found out. People don't want to challenge themselves because they don't want to change. They're comfortable where they are. They're enjoying what they do, and they want God. They want to change, but they still want to do what they want to do. Sorry, it don't work like that. And can I tell you something? It hurts every single one of us. You ain't the first, and you ain't gonna be the last. That change hurts. But it will always be, as long as you are changing based on what God has told you to do. That change, it might hurt, but guess what? No pain, no gain. That's where that really comes from. If it don't hurt you, you ain't learning nothing. Because let me tell you something. You are a pretzel. Think about the big pretzel you buy in New York City, the big one with the little thing and it's all twisted. That's what you are. That's what you are. When you first go to God, you're the pretzel. And now God is trying to make you into a straight line. He's trying to make you into the shape of a churro, that line. Imagine all the twists and turns that it would take to turn that pretzel into the line of a churro. Ooh, baby. That's some twisting and turning. Are you ready? If you're not, and you really want to change, all I can tell you is get ready. Learn you. I'm co-signing with Shantice 100%. Learn you. Because here's what you're going to learn about you. You like to be lied to. You like all the people that say nice things to you. When your clothes look a mess, when you got too much makeup on, when your hair looks a mess, but you guys say, oh, that's cute. You like to be lied to. That's the way you're going to treat God. You don't want God to straighten out God. You want God to look at you and say, you cute. Learn you. You don't like to be told the truth. Learn you. You're not healthy. You don't treat your body right. Learn you. You have a nasty disposition. Learn you. You're an angry person. Learn you. You don't like everybody. You pick and choose who you want to be involved in. Learn you. That you've got to learn to take care of others before you take care of you at times. Learn you. Because see, God tells us to change all those things. And that's just the beginning of the things that we have to change. And if you can't handle being corrected, if you don't like authority, you're going to hate God. Ooh, you're going to hate God. Learn you that you don't like authority. You know how many young people I've been around and I'm like, you don't like authority. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Right now, just because you back talking me right now, that automatically tells me you don't like authority. Shut up. I don't know what it is to talk back to adults. I just don't. Shantice always says, well, you always say you don't know nothing about that. I keep telling you, I was not a perfect person. I am not a perfect person. I've never been a perfect person, but I don't know things, certain things. I don't know about mouthing off to an adult. I don't. I have my granddaughter, everything you say, she got something to say. So I pulled her to, I said, why? Why is it that everything, and it's not sass, but it's just a response. But at the end of the day, it's sass. And I said to her, you need to stop that habit. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's going to work its way into your adulthood. And boy, you're going to be backed up against many a wall because you can't keep your mouth shut. Learn from now to just shut up. Just shut up. And as long as you are not being told to do anything that is unsafe, unhealthy, against God, then shut up and just do it. Just do it. Because you're not going to have people telling you to do something that are not supposed to be telling you to do something. You already know that. You already know that. Just catch up with me. You already know that. You should know what I'm talking about, adults. You already know if it's so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, that these are the people that you're always around. So if you're being told to do something or to not do something, guess what? It must be correct. Because we would never steer you wrong. We're not going to keep you around people who will steer you wrong. That's God. That's God. You told God you want him, then he's going to shift you into a different arena. I don't want to hear nothing about where you came from. Because we didn't all came from something that could have been better. We all have come from something that God did not want us in. That's why we're going into the new realm. Think about how many times the people that you know have given you just erroneous information. And when you grow up, you learn like, oh, that was that. Well, I shouldn't have paid attention to that. Oh, I didn't realize this was that. God is going to show you a whole new world. And the whole new world is going to be him. And if you really want God, you're going to make that adjustment. If you really want God, you're going to make the adjustment. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But see, you'll be moving in faithful obedience. God told me to do this. I'm not doing it because I'm robotic. Why you do that? Because God told me to. No. It's for my benefit. And even if I don't quite understand it right now, guess what? I'll get it. Because I'm trusting that very God. Learn who you are. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't learn who you are, as God has given it to you, your journey in this walk is going, ooh, baby, it's going to be 10 times harder. Accept that you're nasty, that you got an attitude. Accept that you're nasty and you got an attitude. And when someone is telling you, just say, okay, even as an adult. Even as an adult. You know, I've tried to tell the people around me, when someone tells you something about who you are and you don't agree, shut up. Shut up. Take it to God. Take it to God. Take it to God. Oh, he gonna give it to you. He's gonna let you know if they're wrong or if you're wrong. But we're not looking in a real good mirror. You remember when, I think it was Snow White, when it was the witch, and she looked in the mirror, and she was the witch, looked like a witch. We saw her as a witch, but when she looked in that mirror, she looked like Snow White. That's because that's who she wanted to be. She was hoping to be Snow White. That's the way we look in the mirror. That's why that self-assessment, they ain't gonna work. Because we are always going to be who we want to be. We are not going to see ourselves who God is showing us we are. And that's why we need to change. That's what he's trying to twist out of that pretzel into that straight line churro. You're going to have to go through some pain. But the first thing is when God starts showing you who you are, baby, eat it. Eat it. God had to show me that I was the type, I walked off. See, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't use drugs, but my walking off was just as bad as that. And I keep saying that in the word of God, it'll tell when you break one commandment, you break. That's us putting gradation on sin, not to God. And my walking off, I would walk off in a minute. It wouldn't matter to me if you didn't benefit me. And let me help you understand what I meant. I didn't mean like if I couldn't get something from you. That's not me, because I'm always the problem with me is I'm always giving. If there's an exchange going on, and in a year we're buddies or friends, and I'm hearing you talk about the same complaint year after, you have nothing for Stephanie. Because see, Stephanie in a year is going to be better and far advanced than she was last year. I can't stand to staying still. Bye. See you later. Bye. See you later. You're dismissed. That's what I mean when I say you can't do nothing for me. I can't stand still. That's not me. And God had to pay attention. God had to teach me that that's who I was, because I didn't realize that God had me to be a pastor. See, he knew back then, before I was born, that he was calling me to be a pastor. I had no clue. But if a pastor cannot walk off, and can I tell you, that's one of my biggest fights. I have a big problem with people who don't want to invest in themselves. I can't take it. I cannot take it. Ain't nobody going to invest in you if you won't invest in you. If you're not willing to change and take that pain, why should somebody else do it? Oh, when I tell you, that's a thing with me and God. I constantly have to go back to God and say, okay. And he'll constantly have to say, stand right here, Stephanie. You over there. And I keep saying, stand right here. Why? Because my thing is, I'm done. I'm not investing in you more than you're investing in you. I had to learn that. I didn't know that about myself. To me, it was just a way of life. I'm goal-oriented. I hope you are, because now we can hang. If you're not, bye. I didn't realize that that's who I was. God had to teach me that that's who I was. And why was it important for God to teach me? Because I have to teach other people not to run. People are looking to me as the example. And I have to teach them not to run. But how can I teach them not to run if I'm always gone? So it's a constant, that's a battle with me sometimes. Because I don't mind. When you first get to me, I'll invest everything into you. That's the way I've always been. But now I have to fight against, because it does not come natural for me. It does not come natural for me to watch you fight against your improvement. And I got to stand still while I watch you. And I could be further. No, baby. That's a challenge for Stephanie. But God had to teach me that. And it hurts. It's painful standing still. So that's why I said no pain, no gain, because I can't get blessing. Because a lot of times I've learned things in standing still. Because I've stayed there 5 extra minutes, I've learned something. In that I've learned what it really means to love someone, because it takes patience. And if you don't have patience, if you don't have that stand still in you, you're not going to learn. I've learned to love because I've had to stand still. And it is not something that comes natural. It is something that I must work at. What is it that God is teaching you about you that you've got to work at? And you've got to do it whether it hurts or not. It's part of life. It's part of growth. You're not going to grow if you don't let God teach you about you. And even if you're fighting to stay in it. I'm not talking about fighting against it. My prayer to God is not, God, you're going to have to keep me here. You're going to keep me here. No, my prayer to God is, God, I understand the assignment. I need help standing here. Because I want to stand here, because I want to be obedient, because I understand your plan. But I'm fighting against this flesh and spirit that says go. So I need your help. I need your help. Your spirit is speaking. Because if your spirit wasn't speaking, I wouldn't be saying this to you. I'd be saying something else to you right now. So it's not an easy walk, but it is something that you've got to work at. You can't it's not going to just come like that. It's not going to be easy once you get there. And listen, if it's something that you are accustomed to do, know that you're going to have to work at this thing. So just keep on keeping on. As we talked, Pastor Kayla and I talked about last week, Sunday, just keep showing up. Keep showing up. I am constantly at God's feet. All right, God, I'm here. I need your help to show it to me differently. Show it to me differently. Because I'm here. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it not because you told me to, but I do it because I understand your plan. And it is going to benefit me. I just need your strength. I need your help. Stop telling God you don't want to do it. You're not going to do it. If you don't tell me to do it, I'm not going to do it. He already told you to do it. Why you got to tell you to do it 950 times? Why? So I love this practical switch tip today. Learn you. That's the only way you're going to grow in the Lord. Is as he exposes who you are, accept it. Accept it and understand you're going to have to leave a whole lot behind. You cannot take, we always say you can't take everybody with you. You can't even take you with you. No, you're going to have to leave that old you. Those onion skins that God is peeling off, you have to leave them. Leave them. And just let God have his way in your life. Make sure you join me tonight at 9:00 for There's More to Be Said. I don't know. We discussed so many things today. I don't know what God is going to have us talk about, but whatever he has us talk about is going to be relevant, not only for your life, but for mine. So make sure you check us out right here on this Coach for Christian Life Facebook page or YouTube Live, A Closer Walk Christian Media Network. You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew for always coming through big time. Thank you for hanging out with us and helping keeping that chat room alive. Please do not miss this opportunity to give Christ your life right now. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later isn't promised to any of us. Until tonight, God spares, where we're here for There's More to Be Said. Listen, if there's more to be said, that means he needs you to listen. I don't know what he's got coming, and neither do you. All I can tell you is be here. Until then, I love you.